68 sacks. Caleb Williams was sacked 68 times last year. So, Ben Johnson saw the opportunity, signing Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs for a bag of potato chips, and Jonah Johnson from the Los Angeles Rams for, again, nothing. The Bears just cleaned up their whole entire O-line in the span of 2 days. They still need to work on the O-line, though, but I really like Darnell Wright as a third-year guy. Ben Johnson's looking pretty good so far, and it makes you wonder, is he going to take Jeanty with pick 10 this year? I mean, he likes those gadget kind of players, and Jeanty's one of the top prospects of all time. You think back to when he took Jahmyr Gibbs with the 12th pick, and look how good Jahmyr Gibbs is right now. Probably one of the best running backs in the league. So I'm going to see what happens if the Bears take Jeanty. Where can the Cowboys go without Jeanty there, who they're relying so heavily on? Honestly, I'd be a little annoyed, but I wouldn't be that mad if the Bears took Jeanty at 10. I don't want to feel that guilt of taking a running back so early, who you can't really trust. You saw how he played against Penn State. You see the fumbles. You've seen the teams he's played before. And it's a really heavy running back class, so maybe we're fine. All right, so we're going to take a deep dive into these players available. First off, I want to look at Jahdae Barron out of Texas, a beast. A corner might be a little too rich right now at pick 12, but he can play anything, nickel, safety, corner, you name it. This year, he allowed 284 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Allowed a passer rating of 34.2. Overall grade 90.7. That is insane. He's a big hitter. It may say he's only 5'11", but he doesn't look like he's 5'11". He looks like he's 6'2", 225. Like, look at this. Boom. A little bit of an older guy from Texas, senior. At 23, he by the time the season comes around, he might be 24. I looked at it. Yeah, he'd be 24 around when the season starts. And quite frankly, if you took Jahdae Barron at pick 12, it doesn't feel good because you have Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, and Jordan Lewis. But I do not know the future of Trayvon Diggs. Like, the contract, they don't know if they want to extend him or not. He can play anything, though. He can fill the role for Jordan Lewis if he doesn't come back. Kalen Carson, he's definitely way better than Kalen Carson. He can make those hits that Kalen Carson never could. Nor Diggs could the past couple of years. He looks like a madman. He's not scared. I don't think he's scared of anything from what I've seen. He's going to make a hit on you, and he's going to celebrate. He's going to knock the ball right out of your hands. It's positives from PFF. High versatile player who's used in almost limitless way at Texas. Stout, strong defender who excels in the run game. Smart defender. Plays very good ball skills. His negatives, though, hesitant when breaking at times. Looks like he doesn't trust his eyes. Although he's very good twitch in short area, he lacks elite long speed. The key word that's just sticking out to me here is the pass grade allowed. 34.2. That is insane. Their ball is never going to go his way. It is crazy. I saw him play against Jeremiah Smith. He had a great game against him. Not great against Henderson or any of that, but his stock's been going up. PFF compares him to Stephon Gilmore. I like it. I mean, Gilmore's more of a coverage kind of guy, while this guy's more of a tackling kind of dude, but same kind of frame. Gilmore's definitely a little bit taller. Jahdae is definitely a little bit stronger, quicker. Definitely a lot quicker. Gilmore's like a 4'5" guy. He definitely does not have the longest arms in the world. Big hands, though, and 9-inch hands. So that's Jahdae Barron. I love the pick. A little rich, but with Diggs maybe leaving, it could be good. I mean, this is like a notable name. They're probably not going to take him, though. Tyler Warren, athletic freak, makes tons of big plays, gets tons of yards. He's quick, but not a great blocker. That's all I wanted to say. I don't think they're going to take him. That's not that serious. Another versatile athlete the Cowboys are probably going to look at, the Slim Reaper out of Georgia, Malachi Starks himself. This year, he got a grade of 78.3 overall. He had 62 tackles. He had 907 defensive snaps, and he played in 14 games, only missing 7 tackles. He's 6'1", 205. He's got a crazy long wingspan, man, and he used that to his advantage. He looks like a wide receiver at safety. I've noticed that. He's like Diggs. He goes for the ball more than the receiver does. The pros, lower weight, but a well-built safety. Long wingspan for pass breakups. They compare him to Kevin Byard. Smooth, fluid hips to maximize range in deep coverage. Constant pre-snap communicator. I like that one. Elite ball skills. Problems are, movement can look a little out of control at times. A little too aggressive on his pursuit angles. And judgment was a little off in 2024. I wouldn't say he had his 2023 year, but he had a pretty solid year. Consistency. I really like his hip rotation. He can make big cuts and get to the ball quickly. Next up, Kenneth Grant. I'm scared he might take this guy, and he's going to be the next Mozzie Smith. Exactly the same size. 6'5", 6'6", 350. Big boys. People were talking about him. They've never brought up how he might be the next Mozzie. He had more sacks than Mozzie, though. 3 sacks this year, 1 hit, 23 hurries. And, of course, he's known for his run grade, just like Mozzie, at an 87% run grade, which is really good. But he's very slow to get off the ball. I've noticed that. He's definitely more of a pass rusher than Mozzie, but if you look at his tape, he pops right up. He doesn't drive forward like Mason Graham, but he just pops right up and relies on his athleticism and his size to get the sack. And doesn't it sound exactly like Jared to take him because of his run defense? Like, you know who? Mozzie. I like his speed, and he's definitely got some power. That's his tools. That's what he uses. And it works sometimes, obviously. And then it doesn't work. And then what are you going to do? Next up, the 4.30, Matthew Golden out of Texas, who decided to switch his speed with Isaiah Bond, running at a 4.29, and no one expected that. What I love about Matthew Golden is his ability to go one way and just cut the other way when you're not expecting it. He can look like he's going to do a corner route, post route, corner, in route, out route, dig. He can go everywhere, and with that speed, teams are going to feast for that. He had 789 yards this year and 9 touchdowns, but was insane against Arizona State with that crazy catch to win the game. If teams utilize him well, like what Sark did with him, he's going to get the ball and get it with space. It's funny, you never hear anything about this guy. You always hear stuff about Isaiah Bond, cocky. This guy's not cocky. He doesn't talk much. He's just quiet. He just has a game, and you never know about it. But he's 6 foot, 195. He can take the ball up the field very well, and with that speed, that's like what teams want. PFF compared him to Stephon Diggs, and I really like that comparison. This is kind of what I was thinking as a comp, Stephon Diggs. Both great route runners. If Golden can add some strength to him and be a better blocker with his speed and his route running, he can be one of the better wide receivers in the league, if not top 10. I love watching him play Malachi Starks. That's one of my favorite matchups to watch. It's just a battle between those two. And look at this play. It's going to give it a second. This is all Steve Sarkisian. Looks like he's going to hit the out route, but then he hits Golden inside when no one is expecting it. That's the type of stuff he needs. He needs a coach who can develop him like that. Next up, I have Siobhan Revell out of Eastern Carolina. Hear me out. Second best corner in the draft, if not for that ACL. Fun fact, he worked at Amazon Prime before he came to East Carolina. I'm going to make a video on him coming up pretty soon, so I don't want to talk about it that much. But when he plays, he is a beast. 14 pass deflections and 1 interception last year. Amazing stat line. I'm not going to go too far into this guy. Jalen Walker out of Georgia. The Cowboys did not schedule a combine meeting with him, so it's probably not going to work. He had 36 tackles this year, 7 missed tackles, 14 games played. He plays a lot at the D-line and a lot in the box, so he's mostly outside. I don't really view him as much of a pass rusher. I don't think he's that experienced at that position. I think of him more as like a run stopper, like a star. That's what the Cowboys should put him at. He's 6'2", 245, and utilizes his strength as a big motive for him. Kirby Smart definitely wanted to use him as a pass rusher. I like him as a pass rusher. He's really good at it, but I like him even more as a run defender. He had 249 snaps at run defender and 195 as a pass rush. This is what the Cowboys need, though. Someone who can play both. They need a run defender, though, very badly. How about we stay in Athens, Georgia? Let's go Micah Williams, edge. He had 5 sacks this year, 6 hits, 15 hurries, and 2 batted, along with a 78.4 grade. I have a round 2 grade on him. He had a very slow end to the year, very hot start. But last year he was even better. He had 6 sacks, 17 hurries. So, yeah, he can make some plays. He's 6'5", 265 junior. He's really young. Georgia used him a lot over the tackle and outside tackle. 151 snaps over the tackle and 222 outside the tackle. He's kind of got that Micah Parsons kind of. They put Micah just around the tackle. They shift him around there. And I'm going to say 6 sacks, 5 sacks in college football is definitely a lot more in the NFL. He needs to clean up his true pass rush grade at 61. That means that he needs to be quicker to get to the quarterback. You could see that some games he was on, some games he was off like a light. It kind of depends on the game you watch to tell how good is he really. If I watch this game against Tennessee, he's a beast. If I watch this game against Ole Miss, where is he? I just wanted to add this play in here. It's pretty funny. He celebrates, then he realizes that he knocked the ball out. He loses the ball and gives it up, and then UMass gets it at their own 29. Next up, we got Mike Green, the edge out of Marshall. This is the Ashton Jeanty on defense. Hasn't played great talent, but he had 19 sacks. He didn't have anything wrong. He had no mistakes. He's spot on everything. Run defense, pass grade, true pass rush. But I also said he reminds me of Ashton Jeanty because of the teams he's played. He's played Ohio State. That was his one great game. But I couldn't name a single other team he's played besides, a couple, Western Michigan, Georgia Southern. Like, what? He's 6'4" and 280 pounds, running on gasoline and Red Bull mixed together inside of a motor. He's blazing quick, and he will always disturb the play. He's always going to make someone mess something up. He's always going to cause some confusion, always going to cause another guy to be on him. He's not always going to be there on the run stopping, but he's going to be nearby. PFF says he has top 50 all-around ability and projects as a starting caliber outside linebacker in a 3-4 front. What's crazy is that he has 695 snaps outside tackle. That's right there. That's exactly one. Besides the teams he's played, Mike Green has a problem. The sexual assault charges. He had 3 in high school. But he apologized in front of the media, and he's honest about it, and he said he won't do it again. It shows that he's changed and has good honesty now. A familiar name to the draft for the Cowboys, Luther Burden, who had 676 yards and 6 touchdowns, slowed down heavily from last year's amazing campaign. But that was mostly, I think, the quarterback play and the coaching did not scheme him very well. I love his burst. Not the quickest long speed kind of guy, but he's, I think, the fastest wide receiver when it comes to first steps. 5'11", 208. He looks pretty skinny for 208. That's the weird thing. I don't know why. I just noticed that. The Cowboys are one of the most highly picked teams by Jeanty. PFF compares them to Deebo Samuel. I think Deebo's a little bit chunkier. I see so much more Jamar Chase in his game. The ability to take a ball 50 yards on a slant route, that's what Jamar Chase does, and this is what he does. The exact same weight, if you look it up. He's like an inch shorter than Jamar Chase, but usually they round up, and then when they say his exact height, it's not going to be 5'11" at his pro day. I'm really curious to see what he can do when they throw him a deep ball. That's PFF's con with him. He has a very limited route tree. And they also said that he's not going to be the best when it comes to the deep ball throw. PFF does really like his route running ability, his agility, and his burst. Finally, let's talk about the definition of the Dallas Cowboys defensive line. James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. Before we start, I want to say one thing. He's very known for his bad teammate ability. That's what they said on some article. And that it's his way or the highway. Reminds me a lot of Micah. He's horrible at run defense. He needs so much work on it. Tennessee never trusted him at that job, but he's really good on his pass rush. The Dallas Cowboys defensive line. I don't know how this would help the Cowboys. I mean, I guess, you get more pressure on the quarterback, but it's like he plays Micah's position. He's similar to Micah. He's doing exactly what Micah does. We don't need that. We already have Micah and D-Law, 2 great pass rushers. We need run defense. That's not what he's bringing to the table. 6'5", 243. He was going to be the first pick last year, but then he just fell. Fell terribly. He slowed down on his pass rush, and exactly. Look at this. He dropped. I don't know why that would help the Cowboys. I'm not in for it. I'm taking Matthew Golden. I hope you guys liked this video today. I'm just trying to reach 100 subscribers, so make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much. And, go Cowboys.